Welcome back to the channel. I want to do this quick video right here talking about my experience meeting Myron Golden. Now, a nice amount of you know Myron for his dynamic teachings about wisdom and wealth, and he goes in on it. And for those of you that's been following my journey, you know that I talk about wisdom and wealth. I've been talking about this for years, and so to meet someone on YouTube and come across someone that teaches that level, and I like to say even on a higher level, a greater level than I do, all right, it was just a profound thing to come across his channel. But to meet him in person, I want to talk about that today, and I want to lead up to that, here in a second. So I came across Myron Golden some years ago, and his teachings, I can't remember exactly how I came across him, but I came across his channel, and I was watching some of his older videos, and I was like, wow, okay. Then I came across him talking with this other this bishop, this pastor, and he calls him the business bishop. And for those of you that know, those of you that know me, you know that I love the Most High, I love the Bible, I love the scriptures and things of that nature, but I also believe that we are supposed to be able to experience wealth and abundance while we're here. I don't buy into the mindset that we have to be poor and downtrodden our whole experience being on this earth. That's something that I've had a hard time receiving. So, coming across his page and find somebody say, okay, this person believes in wisdom, wealth. He throws some Hebrew into his teachings too. He go into the Hebrew language. He talks about numbers. I mean, all these things that you all see, y'all hear some of that come from me on some of my lessons, right? I don't go into the Hebrew in great depth at all. I may use a word here and there, but he does teachings on it. He's going into numbers. Y'all know I talk about the numbers. I got a book on numbers. And so coming across Myron Golden, I was like, wow, okay, this is like an elder from afar. Of course you would like your elder to be in person, but I'm watching him from a distance, and I'm like, wow, he got some real nice teachings, all right? So he's breaking down this wisdom and wealth. So a time flew past. I was watching his videos, and I kind of got off-put by something that he did on his channel. And I'm not gonna say he did, but his team. So I reached out and sent the message, and I was kind of like, hey, I was ready to drive down to Florida just to be in one of those live Bible studies that he do. And they said, well, have you joined one of his groups? Have you joined one of his masterminds? And I was like, nah, I haven't. And I'm thinking in my mind, I gotta pay to join one of these masterminds, or join a challenge, or join a mastermind just to be able to hear a Bible study. And so I was off-put by that for like a couple months. But then I had to realize that he values what he has to offer to the world. He values the wisdom and the wealth that he's obtained. All right, he doesn't just let anyone just show up at his doorstep. All right, you have to have an invested interest in what he's already doing. So I've had to understand that, because I've been the one that's been giving my services away for free to everyone, and people don't value that. So I had to learn that nugget for him, even in my frustration. So time had passed. I kind of stopped watching his videos for like a couple months. I came back to it. And so one day I'm at the computer. I'm typing. I'm at my auction list. I'm a car dealer, so I'm looking at my list for my cars. And then something just prompts me to go check out Myron Golden. And I like to listen to personal development and positive things as I'm doing my business, so I can be learning while I'm trying to earn at the same time. And so I go down there, and the next thing you know, he said he's doing a live event in Tampa, Florida. And I'm like, I have to be at this event. I have to meet this man in person. I got to see these teachings for myself. All right, so and then also too, I wanted to make sure that he had a copy of my books, because I have 2 books on wisdom. For those of you that do not know about the 12 fundamental laws of wisdom and wisdom, the world's greatest hidden treasure. So I'm like, listen, he talks about wisdom, he talks about wealth. Also, but he mainly talks about from Proverbs and Ecclesiastes, and there's 2 other wisdom books that I wanted him to be exposed to, and he may already be exposed to. He may have been already exposed to him, but it's Wisdom of Solomon and Ecclesiastes. These other 2 wisdom books were part of the 1611 King James Bible, the original version. So I was like, let me get down here. I want to make sure that my books are in his hand. So let me tell you how the Most High works. So now I paid for my admission to go there. Get the hotel situation, got my money already, and I'm prepared to go. So I actually drove down there. It may have been short notice, but I drove down to the event. I drove 13, 14 hours to go meet Myron Golden. So this is the earnest expectation. I hope you can gain something from what I'm about to tell you though. So, because if you could believe in something long enough and hard enough and strong enough, it can actually happen. So my goal was to get my wisdom books into Myron Golden's hand. I didn't know what they were going to be offering me. I didn't know what they was trying to get me to join, to sell. I didn't know what they was about to be pitching down at this event. All I knew was that I got to get this man my wisdom books. And this is the belief that I had inside of me. So I drove down to this event on the very first day. I get there, I'm about 30 minutes late to the event. So as I come in the door, the security, they move me over to the side and shifts me over to the left side of the building. I'm off in the cut somewhere way towards the back left. Now it's about 600 people in this room and in this event. So they usher me off to the left. I go over to the left, and next thing you know, I go sit down. I just sit down. Man, I go sit down next to a woman. I didn't know who she was. I'm just sitting down next to her, and I'm watching the stage. Now, as I come in, Myron is on stage teaching. Now, you know, some of us, we have been, you know, watching his videos, we've been blown away seeing him through the screen, but actually seeing him on the stage, you know, delivering wisdom and dropping wealth nuggets, it was like, whoa, mind blowing. So I'm sitting next to this woman, I'm just paying attention to the stage, I'm watching the stage, watching Myron drop. He get down, he get finished with his talk, and Russell Brunson comes up. Now, Russell Brunson is a man that's basically around my age, but he's made close to $1 billion through online sales, through ads, all kind of things. He's like what they would call, he's like a mentor's mentor, but he's a young man like me, right? So Marshall was up there giving his talk, and next thing you know, I feel a chair being moved, pulled back, and so next thing you know, Myron Golden comes and sits right next to me. He's sitting literally exactly right next to me. So now I'm kind of like, man, I'm kind of a little nervous, because I'm like, man, you know, this is his event. I done brought my books down there. I'm trying to, you know, get my books out in circulation so more people can know about these wisdom books that I have. And so he's sitting right next to me, so I got a choice. Now, some people, when you come to the event and they see that you're selling things, they can try to put you out. They can say, hey, brother, you can't be down here selling your books in my event. You know, so I'm like, I'm nervous. I'm kind of like, I don't know what to do. So next thing you know, I was like, listen, man, this is what I've been looking forward to. This is what basically I done prayed for. I reached into my bag, my little spatula I was walking around with, grabbed both of my wisdom books and gave it to him. He was sitting right next to him. I put them in his hand. He looked at him for a second, and he gave him over to his wife. And I tried to act like I wasn't paying attention out the side of my ear, but he was holding that wisdom, the world's greatest hidden treasure, and he gave them to his wife. He said, put these in the bag. And he was basically kind of like, was it any question that you have? Was it something else you need me to do? I was like, hey, I just wanted to make sure you got those books. I basically want to make sure you read them, right? And so he didn't tarry too much longer after that. He got up and he walked and he left. Now, this was the only time that I seen Myron Golden throughout that whole three-day event come and sit in the audience. That was the only time. And the only time that he came to sit in the audience, the Most High had him sit right next to me. All right, now that was his wife. Now, remember I told you about the lady that I was sitting next to? That was his wife. And his wife is so humble, his wife is so down to earth that she didn't sit on the front row. She wasn't like, I'm the first lady, I'm the main woman of this event, and she sat on the first row. His wife was so humble, she was way in the back somewhere. And then she wasn't in the back, but she was like in the middle back. And she was all the way back there blending in with the crowd. You wouldn't have never known who she was. I was sitting right next to Myron Golden's wife. So what are the odds of that? Out of 600 people, I'm the only person that Myron comes to sit by the whole entire event. So now, after he left, I'm kind of like, dang, I ain't even get a picture with Myron. I should have, got a picture with him while he was there. I should have asked for a picture. So after the event is over on the first day, everyone leaves the hall, the conference hall and everything of that nature. They go away. Guess who I see scooting down the hallway like a 17-year-old teenager? Myron Golden is scooting down the hallway on one of them little scooter things. He comes right past, again, humble. You know, you could look at it from YouTube and you could think that he's arrogant. He tell you that. He said, you might think that I'm arrogant on what I'm saying, but this is just, he said, but that's not my intent. And that's what he says on some of his lessons and some of his videos. He said in the past, you might think I'm arrogant, but that's not my intentions. And so it's easy to look at him and think that he's arrogant and proud because he talk about all his money, he talk about his abundance, and the way he thinks and talks, you could take that the wrong way. This man, he didn't turn me away. He didn't look down at me like, nah, I don't want no picture with you, and you know, man, you beneath me and all that. He gladly took the picture. And then he held up my books while he was taking the picture. I said, you mind, you know, putting the book out there? He held up my book, you know, embraced me, showed me love. And then even earlier in that day, when we was doing a live event, he had a couple people come up and speak and say, well, what did you get from this event? And he said, I need a couple people to raise their hand. I rose my hand in a room of 600 people. He raised it, he points over there. He says, Joseph Joshua, come over here. I stand up in front of the room and I'm telling people what I got from the experience. And my aha moment at the event was that I'm telling them what I'm telling you right now. Is that out of 600 people, this man came and sat right next to me out of everybody in this whole room. What are the odds of that? There were 1 in 600. But there wasn't 1 in 600 in the sight of the Most High. There wasn't 1 in 600 in the sight of having a strong faith and belief. Is that if you believe something long enough and strong enough, it can happen. That's the moral of this story. I want to tell you all this. Also, too, at this event, mind-blowing. I've thrown gatherings, I've thrown events for years. But at this event, they were eating on a whole different level of elegance. You know, food that's being brought out to you. This is not no finger food. This is not no stuff that you would try to put together to save money. I believe he said when he stood on stage, the food alone cost $180,000. We were eating like kings. And these were the people that paid to register the regular admission. I think I paid $500 to attend the first event, and this was regular admission. So imagine what the VIPs were eating over there in their room, in their separate room. But we were eating like kings. When it was time to go back to the conference for the rest of the day, I mean, I was eating meals that was so big, I was coming back feeling real good, right? And so like the elegance, the opulence that was shown at that event, the speakers that came to the Offer Mastery, the first one, I mean, it was a dynamic group of people. And to this day, I've been to conferences. That was probably the best. It ranks up there at the #1 or very close to the best event I've ever been to. I'm believing in the fact that there's going to be some type of introduction and some type of connection where he's going to bring me and Myron together. And it's going to be more than just me taking a picture with him. It's going to be more than me having him just sit down next to me for 1 or 2 minutes and getting up and I never see him again. I believe that the Most High will put forth a strategic relationship and partnership. That's my belief. All right, we'll see if the Most High allows it to come to pass. So I pray that the Most High be with each and every single one of you. Go by, check out Myron Golden's teachings on YouTube. They will blow your mind away. I know some of you all that's connected to me, you might not want to hear the gods and the lords as much all the time, but I'm just telling you that if you can go past that and hear the teachings. He also brings out the Hebrew. If I haven't already said, he talks about the Hebrew as well a little bit. I think I did say that earlier in this video. He talks about the Hebrew. He breaks it down. He does Hebrew teachings and things of that nature. So it will take your mind to a whole nother level. Is some of these teachings and lessons that he shared, the way he shared, I've never heard anyone break it down like this. And that says a lot because I've heard a lot of teachers, speakers, ministers, teachers, so-called mores. I've heard a lot of people break down the word, but the way that he breaks down these scriptures is on a whole different level. All right, so that is my breakdown of how I met Myron Golden.